doll-sized cup and saucer back to the table. I asked what had brought her to San Francisco, and she said she was here on business. Handbag manufacturing, boring stuff. She waved a hand laden with emerald and sapphire eternity bands. To think I'd left my engagement ring at home for fear of appearing too flashy. "Now, I know you're wondering why I called," she said. She explained that a dear friend in China needed a liver transplant and wanted the procedure done in the U.S. She'd done some research. She knew my husband was a successful transplant surgeon. Might I put her in touch with him? She understood that he was highly regarded in the field. Again, I hadn't heard from her in 20 years. Misreading my disbelief, she said, I know. Since the election, they've cracked down on transplants for foreigners. But if your husband could just talk to my friend." I agreed to speak to Ollie. She thanked me profusely and said, "Now, Ava, how are you? Tell me everything. It's been too long." I ran through the checklist, while she pretended her private investigator hadn't already filled her in. Olivier, with whom she appeared to be already acquainted, husband of 4 years, half French, half American. Baby Henry, 2 years old. Did you want to see a picture? Here he was in our backyard. Yes, we lived right up the street. And work? I gave the stock answer. I'd left my law firm when Henry was born and was now considering going in-house, better work-life balance and all that. As I talked, I parsed her transformation. Eyelid surgery, of course, cutting-edge facials involving lasers and microcurrents, quality hair extensions, designer clothes. But it was more than that. Sitting across from me, sipping from that miniature ceramic cup, Winnie looked comfortable, relaxed. She looked like someone who belonged. What had she done with the plump, earnest girl who'd entered our dorm room lugging a pair of scuffed, hot pink suitcases filled, I would learn, with acrylic cardigans and ill-fitting polyester cuffed trousers? Right away, it'd been clear that we could not be friends. Why, you ask? For all the usual superficial reasons that matter to teenagers. She was awkward, needy, fobby. No, F-O-B-B-Y, fresh off the boat. Look, I wasn't cool then either, but I wasn't a lost cause. I knew the right friends could buoy me, and the wrong kind would sink me. And there was only a small window of time in that first year of college to get it right. You see, Detective, it felt like I'd waited my whole life to get to Stanford. Growing up outside of Boston, Newton to be exact, if you know the area, I was one of those quiet, nerdy kids everyone ignored. I mean, the teachers knew me because I had excellent grades, although they constantly confused me with Rosa Chi. She was my friend, along with all the other quiet nerds. But to the rest of the school, to the normal kids, I was invisible. You want an example? One time my brother was home from college, and we went out for ice cream and ran into Mitch Paulson, his former tennis doubles partner. Gabe and Mitch slap palms, thump shoulders, and I kind of wave. I swear, Mitch's face goes completely blank. Gabe says, "That's my sister, Ava. She's a junior." And Mitch says, perfectly pleasantly, "Nice to meet you." Nice to meet you. I'd watched at least a dozen of their matches. I knew who Mitch had dated all through his senior year and who he'd dated before her. He had no clue who I was. Stanford was full of kids like me. I had new contact lenses. I'd grown my hair long enough to braid. I was ready to be seen, and if I couldn't have a blonde, ponytailed jock roommate, I wasn't going to let the one I did have get in my way. In my defense, I tried to be civil to Winnie. I squelched my impatience and answered her countless questions, mostly basic things like where to get a student ID and how to figure out her mailbox combination. But she also had this annoying habit of treating me like her pocket dictionary, asking me to define words she didn't know, and complicated ones, too.